Thank you very much for joining us today. I would like to start the second day of the Zero Carbon City International Forum, hosted by the Ministry of Environment Japan in collaboration with UNFCCC Secretariat, ICLEI, and Institute for Global Environmental Strategy, IJAS. My name is Kataoka Yatsuka from IJAS, and I will be coordinating this evening opening session. First of all, I would like to invite Mr. Sasagawa Hiroyoshi, State Minister of the Environment Japan, to make some opening remarks. State Minister, floor is yours.
I am Sasagawa Hiroyoshi, State Minister of the Environment Japan. I would like to take this opportunity to welcome you to the second day of the International Forum on Zero Carbon Cities. First of all, I would like to express my gratitude for your participation in this forum from all over the world. Yesterday, we had the participation of Mr. Koizumi, Minister of the Environment Japan, Ms. Espinosa, Executive Secretary of UNFCCC, Mr. Kelly, Special Envoy for Climate Change of the United States, and mayors of cities who introduced their advanced efforts to decarbonize their cities. Through the discussions in the two plenary sessions, we were able to confirm the role of cities in decarbonization and the importance of support from international organizations and governments. Today, we have prepared 4 panel sessions on specific themes to further deepen the discussions of the first day. But before that, we have received a video message from the United Kingdom, the host country of this year's COP26. This video will be played after my speech. Then, we will have keynote presentations by the governor of Nagasaki Prefecture and the mayor of Kitakyushu City. The advanced efforts towards decarbonization in Japan will be introduced. After the break, we will have panel sessions. The theme of panel 1 is urban policy and planning. How can we develop and implement effective policies and plans for decarbonization? We'll also discuss how to create a leading model case and how to deploy it in other regions. The theme of panel 2 is energy. We will discuss how to change the energy system, which is indispensable for decarbonization in accordance with the local resources of each city. The theme of panel 3 is finance. As ESG investment becomes more mainstream, we will discuss how to make the best use of public and private funds and how to work with the business sector, both within and outside the region. The theme of panel 4 is the redesign of urban infrastructure systems. We will discuss how to decarbonize buildings and the transport infrastructure, which can be a source of emissions over the mid to long term. We hope that you will be able to watch the discussions of the panels that you are interested in and deepen your knowledge. In recent years, extreme weather events such as torrential rains, huge hurricanes, and heat waves have occurred in many parts of the world, and the effects of climate change are already threatening human society everywhere, leading to a situation that could be called a climate crisis. In order to cope with this climate crisis, it is necessary to promote carbon-neutral initiatives in each country and region, and in particular, decarbonizing urban areas, which are set to account for more than 70% of the world's CO2 emissions, is an important issue. We'd like to share the results of this forum at COP26 and other meetings leading up to it, and continue the discussion to maintain and improve the momentum of urban decarbonization. Finally, I hope that today's presentations and discussions will be fruitful for all of you, and that we will further accelerate our efforts to decarbonize cities. With this, I'd like to conclude my opening remarks today. Thank you very much.
State Minister Sasagawa to make a good introductory remarks for today's forum. We are happy to have received a video message from Mr. Ken O'Flaherty, a COP26 regional ambassador to Asian Pacific and South Asia from the United Kingdom.
Good evening. I'm Ken O'Flaherty, COP26 Regional Ambassador for Asia Pacific and South Asia. First of all, I'd like to thank the Ministry of the Environment and Minister Koizumi for having me at this event, and I'd also like to express my sincere thanks to all the distinguished guests joining us here tonight. As you all know, later this year, the UK will host the UN Climate Change Conference COP26 in Glasgow with our partners Italy. This will provide an opportunity for the world to come together and commit to urgent climate action. The UK is committed to working with all countries and taking an all-of-society approach by joining forces with civil society, companies and people on the front line of climate change to inspire action ahead of COP26. We are asking for all countries to come forward with ambitious, nationally determined contributions and long-term strategies to reach net zero carbon emissions as soon as possible. Local governments have a key role to play. They can demonstrate firsthand the huge momentum behind the Paris Agreement by bringing about the change that we need to sustain our daily lives and our future livelihoods. They can tell the story on pathways to net zero by implementing local policies and helping citizens understand the impacts of climate change. They're key to influencing the political atmosphere to drive support for increased climate action. We have seen this happen in the UK, where many local governments have set even more ambitious targets than our own national target. You may be aware that the UK became the first major economy to establish a legally binding target of net zero emissions by 2050 in 2019. But for example, Glasgow, which is the city where COP26 will be held, has set a target for net zero by 2030. Nottingham has set a target of 2028, which is the earliest in the UK. These actions of local governments have helped to support action at national level, as seen in the ambitious UK NDC announced last December, as well as building overall public pressure to tackle climate change. I'd very much like to commend the work done by the Ministry of Environment, spearheaded by Minister Koizumi, on local government action in Japan. The Zero Carbon Cities movement that pledges net zero by 2050 has amassed support in areas covering over 80% of Japan's entire population. There's no doubt that this played a significant role in creating momentum towards the national government announcing net zero by 2050 last October. I was also delighted to hear at the beginning of this month that Kyoto City has joined the Powering Past Coal Alliance and became the first Japanese member of this growing international coalition to phase out coal power. I hope this pioneering decision by Kyoto will encourage other progressive regions and cities to join the PPCA and inspire progressive policies by the national government to end coal power in Japan. As the country holding the COP26 presidency, the UK is calling on all nations, leaders and businesses to take immediate action to do their part in tackling the climate crisis. We have less than 8 months until COP26, and there's no time to waste. Thank you again for giving me an opportunity to speak at this important event. I hope that everything you hear today will inspire you to join us in the fight to create a fairer, greener and more resilient global economy.
Thank you very much, Mr. Ambassador, for your encouraging message. So now, I would like to invite Mr. Viktor Kisov, Deputy Director General of UN Habitat, to make an opening statement.
Thank you very much. Ladies and gentlemen, the past decade was the hottest in human history. Carbon dioxide levels are at record highs, and extreme wildfires, cyclones, floods, and droughts are the new normal. The science is clear. We need to limit the global temperature rise to 1.5 degrees Celsius by the end of the century. To do this, we need to cut global emissions by 45% by 2030, compared to the 2010 levels, and reach net zero emissions by 2050. Unfortunately, current commitments are nowhere close to what is needed to achieve these targets. What we need is concrete, ambitious, and immediate action from all stakeholders, including a breakthrough in adaptation and resilience. The pandemic has exposed deep inequalities in the way people live in cities and how cities serve their residents. The vulnerable have suffered most. 24% of the world's urban population live in slums. Less than half of the global population can access open public spaces within 400 meters of walking distance to their homes. However, the recovery from COVID-19 provides an unprecedented opportunity to transform our cities. Comprehensive climate action and COVID-19 recovery can be mutually reinforcing. One good example is investing in sustainable transport and energy that allows cities to stay compact, connected, clean, inclusive, as well as prosperous. Nature-based solutions have been recognized as critical for climate change resilience and mitigation. COVID-19 has further highlighted the need for urban parks and ecosystems to reduce air pollution and to provide recreational space. It is critical that we future-proof our cities by investing in sectors with potential for high ecological and digital transformation and job creation. In order to foster this, UN Habitat just launched the United Nations Innovation Technology Accelerator of Cities, UNITAC, in Hamburg this week, jointly with the United Nations Office for Information and Communications Technology and Hafen City University. It will develop urban technology and innovation methodologies that can be used to analyze urban challenges and develop prototypes and solutions that demonstrate the power of digital technology. We are encouraged by the fact that more than 10,000 cities have developed climate action plans. The time is now to further raise ambitions. Local climate action plans with concrete and verifiable targets are now needed to ensure we move from small-scale interventions to citywide actions that can be replicated nationally and internationally. To showcase the commitment and the achievement, cities should join the Race to Zero and the Race to Resilience campaigns. In October, UN Habitat will co-organize the Innovation for Cities Conference, which will bring together urban climate researchers and practitioners to enhance the science policy nexus. Innovations in technology and urban planning and design, as well as urban governance, will be made available to national and local governments and other partners to support their climate ambitions. National governments are well positioned to leverage and facilitate a radical transformation at the city level, promoting integrated urban resilience and net zero emissions urban development. Ministries of environment are engaging globally to support local climate action. Our host, the Ministry of Environment of Japan, demonstrates this through this very important meeting. We would further like to stress the need for a strengthened cross-sectoral collaboration and engage the Ministries of Housing and Urban Development in this process. We would like to suggest an urban ministerial roundtable at the COP26 to take this one step further. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Mr. Kisov. Now, I would like to invite our next distinguished speaker, Mr. Abe Shuichi, Governor of Nagano Prefecture in Japan. Governor Abe, the floor is yours.
I am Abe from Nagano Prefecture. I'm the governor there. Congratulations on the holding of the International Forum on Zero Carbon Cities. I would like to pay my respect for the efforts of the Ministry of the Environment and all others involved in organizing this event. So, Zero Carbon Project Team, I am the chair there of the Governors Association. And I would like to talk about our endeavors towards Zero Carbon City from two aspects. One is national governments and local governments' partnership and the promotion of that. national governments and local governments in terms of designing cities or transforming lifestyles of the people. From many perspectives, we are in the leading position to lead the decarbonization efforts. But in doing so, we need to have close collaboration with the national government. And from that perspective, Minister Koizumi has been exercising a very strong leadership, and we would like to expand zero-carbon cities. And that's been promoted by the minister. 319 municipalities have already declared zero-carbon cities, covering more than a population of 100 million in Japan. So we are responding to the call from the Ministry of the Environment as well as the Minister Koizumi. Yesterday, in the Governors Association, we had a meeting of the project team for zero carbon society promotion. We shared advanced examples from different cities and shared challenges going forward. And Minister Koizumi took part in the meeting from the start till the end, so that he understands the issues and challenges and we are facing in the local areas. And so we have this decarbonization realization meeting between the national and regional governments. So it's very important between the national government and local governments to work together across Japan. Another point I'd like to make here is this is about the young generations of the future and also getting a lot of people involved in order to realize decarbonized society. That perspective is very important. So young people are standing up to tackle decarbonization of cities. Hakuba is a village, and high school students are there, leading the effort to change the insulation of their school buildings. And also, they are trying to expand the use of solar panels on the rooftops. So that is being led by the youth. So as a prefecture, we'd like to have a citizens meeting for decarbonization in order to get involved a lot of citizens as well as young people especially. So we need to have cooperation between the national government and the local governments, and we also need to work with other international cities. That is very important. 2 years ago, we declared climate emergency in Nagano Prefecture. And before that, we had G20 Environment Minister and Energy Minister meeting in Karuizawa. And we had a Nagano declaration together with the ICLEI for sustainable society and declared to work closely together with other international cities. So not just in Japan, we'd like to work closely with other international cities in order to accelerate our efforts towards decarbonization. So with this, I'd like to conclude my remarks. Thank you very much.
Abe, for your statement to remind us the importance of the partnership at all levels. Now, let me invite the final speaker of this session, Mr. Kitahashi Kenji, Mayor of the City of Kitakyushu. Mayor Kitahashi, floor is yours.
Good afternoon. My name is Kitahashi. I'm the mayor of Kitakyushu City. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to talk about how we are working on decarbonization. The Kitakyushu City has developed a resource recycling center, eco-town business. We also worked on the measures against the global warming. Further, with the Japanese government's announcement to aim towards the 2050 carbon neutrality, the city of Kitakyushu also declared that we are going to be zero carbon city to achieve the net zero emissions by 2050. The city of Kitakyushu, its major industries are manufacturing, including steel making. So for us, decarbonization is a high hurdle to overcome. But in order to protect the environment of the globe and also to be a leader in the future decarbonized society and green society, it is very significant in your view. And further, we have to ensure that our city and businesses are competitive enough, and our city is very comfortable to live in and resilient to disasters. And that is why we have set the virtuous cycle of the environment and economy as one of the pillars of growth strategy. And we are working closely with local businesses so that we can create a city which employs 100% renewable energy, where energy is locally produced and consumed. One of the examples is the wind farm. Already, Kitakyushu produces the wind power, which is the greatest among the ordinance-designed cities. In 2025, there will be further 220 megawatt offshore wind farm to start operation. And we are also working to prepare the city to be a hub for wind power-related industry. And we are also utilizing our potential as the port city and utilize that infrastructure to secure strategically the renewable energy and hydrogen. And the second is the renewable energy 100% Kitakyushu model business. By 2025, we will supply 100% renewable energies for all power to be used in the public facilities in the cities. The next step is, in addition to the power produced in the renewable power stations in the city, we are going to introduce a system of in-house power generation and consumption utilizing PVs and the batteries. And we are going to utilize these activities to solve the cities, the problems we have. Also, another characteristic is that since 1980s, we have been collaborating with Asian cities and promoting the international environmental cooperation. Already in 83 cities in 16 countries, we have helped them plan, environmental plan, and in the fields of the water and the waste management. And we have been providing them with comprehensive solutions for the environmental issues. In addition to that, we are trying to create a win-win relationship so that we can create new environmental businesses. In 2050, we will be reducing CO2s, which is equivalent to 150% of CO2 emissions by my city. And we are going to provide these activities further.
Initiative Kitakyushu toward the zero carbon future. Now, I would like to thank all the distinguished speakers at today's forum for their encouraging statements. This brings us to the end of opening session. Thank you very much for joining us.